السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. أما بعد. We are now in the fourth lesson and we are going to continue with the Arabic alphabet. We have learned so far until the letter Ghain. Therefore, we will learn from Fa until Ya. That means we will learn the last letters of the Arabic alphabet. So follow along and we will learn it together. The first letter we have is Fa. Fa is said by placing the upper front teeth above your lower lips and smile and say Fa, Fa. Remember, if you want to remember a letter, you have to look at it a lot and say the letter again and again. And if you are able, try to also write it down many times and say Fa, Fa. You can remember this letter by looking at its head and noticing that it has one dot. We know that Fa has one dot. We also know that Allah has one dot. Ghain has one dot. But their heads are different. Their heads are different. We know Ba has a dot but is below. So Fa has a dot. Its head is like this. And it has a dot just above it. We will continue now with the next letter, which is Qaf. Qaf, you say from the back of your throat at the upper end. It sounds closely to the next letters, one of the next letters, which I will try to explain the difference between Qaf and that letter, and you have to say it separately. Each letter has its own special place of saying, or makhraj. So Qaf, you say it from the last part of your mouth at the upper end. Qa, qa, qa. It's very clear and clean. It doesn't make a scratching sound. So here closely I say Qa, qa, Qaf. And notice that Qaf, it has a round stomach below the line. It has two dots above its head. So how can you differentiate, or how can you see the difference between Fa, we learned just before, and Qaf? You can see first and foremost the difference in the numbers of dots. Then you can see that the stomach in Qaf is more deep than in Fa. Fa is just above the line. طيب. Now we go to the next letter. Kaf. 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 Okay? What do you notice in Kaf? Kaf sounds very closely to the letter we learned just before, Qaf, but it's not the same letter. It sounds very different. Kaf, you say from the upper part of your mouth, while Qaf, it was the last part of your mouth at the top end or upper end of your throat. So if you imagine this as a throat, and this is the top roof of your mouth. Qaf, you say it from this part where I'm pointing at, while kaf is this part. Kaf, qa, qaf, kaf, qaf. And some people, they make the mistake while saying qaf, they say khaf. No, kha is the letter we have learned, and it's scratching or it's like rubbing something with another thing. You make that kha sound. So each letter you have to practice it a lot of times while looking at them, because else you will forget them. Kaf, kaf, qaf, qaf. Good. The next letter we have is meme. 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 Meme, you notice the head is open. It has like an eye open. And it has a long line. You notice alif, it has the same, but alif is above the line, while meme, this part which is like a alif, it's below the line. Secondly, you notice that meme is said by placing the upper lip and lower lip and closing them together and releasing. Meme. Meme. But then the question is, what's the difference between meme and ba? The difference between the looks is very different, of course. But example, how can you tell a person what's the difference between meme and ba when both of them you just close your lips and say it? Meme, ba. You can say it by placing an a sound in front of it and say When you say you can stop totally without an extra echo sound or extra sound following along it. But when you say ab, you see there comes an echo or a sound which is called qalqala. So this sound, it doesn't come when you say meme. You say you just close your lips. But when ba, you have to open them again. Ab, and da, it comes like a jump, like an echo sound. The next letter is noon. 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 So far, we have learned many letters have one dot, but you must notice the other differences so you can find out what letter we have in front of us. In noon, you notice that it has a round, big bowl, like a bowl when you eat. It's not above the line, it's round and big and below. And then it has a dot just in the middle. So the difference between fa and noon is that fa has a little head, while it also has a dot. Noon, it has a little, very like a bowl, is below the line, and it has a dot. And you say it by placing the tip of your tongue behind your upper teeth and say noon. Good. Noon. And then we have ha, 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 ha. Notice the difference between ha and ha. Ha, you can imagine, is the sound of air coming through your throat without any pressure. So when you're out of breath, you say, it's almost like that. Ha. You don't need to put any pressure. But in ha, the part of your throat, it comes like together, and you make the sound. Ha, 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 ha. And in ha, it's very easy and it comes out naturally. Ha. Then we have wow. Wow, notice that in wow, you begin from the right side and make the head and down. Wow. And sometimes you can get confused with meme, but notice that in meme you begin from the left and go and make the head and then go down. So this is meme, and now you have learned wow. Wow. Good. And the second last letter is yeah. 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 Notice that yeah has 2 dots below, and it looks like a duck, you can call it, and you can remember it best by the 2 dots below. Yes. Yeah. And the last letter, which we also can take in the front, in the first as the first, but we took it this time as the last, Hamza. Hamza is a special letter. It can stand alone, or it can stand above wow, or above ya, or above alif. So it can stand differently when we are learning inshallah how to read, but it's always Hamza which takes precedence. It means it's the letter we will read, which when Hamza is written. So Hamza is like the beginning of Ain. See, this is Ain and is almost like the head of Ain. So it looks like that, and this is called Hamza. Hamza. I hope we have all learned something, and may Allah benefit us all. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Remember, if you benefited, please share with your family, and if you have anything, you can ask me inshallah in the comments.